Ahoy.
Welcome to the LowBrow LowDown number 4. My name is Lars. Christian, what's your name?
That's my name.
That joke's never getting old.
Okay.
I keep trying to come up with new answers, but it's getting difficult.
Okay, how can I pour this?
So Christian is the man with no
Without
name.
being a retard.
No, without being product placement.
Okay, so person number 1 on my left is the man with no name, which makes you what?
Huh?
Huh?
Well, yeah, I'm Magnus.
Hi, Magnus.
Hi, Lars. It's been like a month since I saw you last.
Indeed. To the day, no, next week.
Next week.
I think.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk a bit about, well, what we've been doing and games and stuff, I think.
Maybe.
Maybe
we will, maybe we won't.
Maybe.
Kind of what we usually do.
Kinda. Activity on our YouTube channel has been a bit lower than usual. There's no Sunday brunch, but that's due to us just finishing up our summer holiday.
2 weeks in Italy for a wedding with my woman things. Okay.
My women things.
With
he went to Italy with his tampons and his airbrush and his blow dryer, and he had a wonderful 2 weeks hanging out at the beach, drinking Cosmos.
See, here's the thing. I hate the word significant other. I really
Then
hate
say
it.
girlfriend.
Yeah, but
boom.
I'm also not 14 years old, so I've been
Domestic partner.
I've been.
How about
I've
Madeline?
been. Yeah.
The old lady.
Yeah. How about Madeline? Yeah, Madeline. I've been in Italy with Madeline and literally all of her family for a wedding.
Literally all our family.
Pretty close to. Felt like it.
So figuratively, her whole family.
Well, 40 people at least. Enough. And then I had 1 day off in between, and then we went for 1 week to Denmark with all of my family, which is also it can be an ordeal. Then
I can only imagine.
And then, of course, it wasn't all fun. Some bad stuff happened too, so I had to go to a funeral. And then we started remodeling our house, or my apartment.
Yeah, which is the second reason why we're not doing any Sunday brunches anytime soon, because our Sunday brunch studio, aka Magnus's man cave, is about to be rebuilt.
Oh no, it's not going to be rebuilt. It's almost done. It's almost done. Right. So we might actually get some Sunday brunches going. I don't know when this is going up, but
you're swapping rooms. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, we're swapping rooms and redecorating and getting all new furniture and shit.
Awesome! Can't wait. While you've been in Italy, I've been at your place.
Yeah, you are sarcastic.
It's like Freaky Friday.
Yeah, I spent a week and a half just trying to see what it was like to be you. So I raided your fridge, and I played lots of Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I have no beer left.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you drank all my beer.
Pretty much.
And I actually had a lot of beer for once. I never stock beer for too long because I don't drink too much.
I don't think it was like, it wasn't all of your beer. There's still some left in that cupboard next to your oven.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So I have like 2 beers left. Because I had like almost a full case of beer because we stocked up because we got visitors right before we left.
I offered to restock.
No, but I didn't. No, that's not. I don't care. I can buy more beer. It's just weird because for once I had like a case of beer ready to go at a moment's notice, and then no, fuck it, the beer is gone.
Also ate half of your chili cheese nuggets from the freezer.
They're awesome, right? I love them.
They're terrible, but I couldn't stop eating them.
No. See, that's the thing. Cheese with oh man, I haven't eaten today as well, and I'm very hungry.
Me neither, bro.
I'm gonna get McDonald's when we're done here.
Yeah, so the result of that week and a half, the people watching and listening will see on our channel in September, I think. Once Oxenfree is done, they'll see me trying to play your Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Oh yes,
which we'll talk more about next time, I guess. What have you been doing, Christian?
I've been working. And
nice. Living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. I went on vacation, so he had to work.
Except I don't work 9 to 5.
I do.
And then I went to visit you for a couple of days.
Woo!
Went around,
Living the dream.
caught some Pokemon,
Yeah.
went for a swim.
I caught like 3 Pokemons.
I caught a lot of Pokemon.
We're gonna have to talk about Pokemon, don't we?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've been playing this entire summer. So yeah, we're gonna talk about some goddamn Pokemon.
Right, let's get to it then.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
So yeah, Niantic launched Pokemon Go, which is everyone knows what it is at this point.
Huge success.
Forces you to go outside. I think that's the big appeal.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's there's so many people sort of hating on the aspect of sort of, oh, they're just walking around like zombies, blah blah blah, and I'm like, you guys who are complaining, you're sitting at home playing Candy Crush and you're watching 10 hours of Netflix every day. So just shut the fuck up and let people have hobbies.
It actually topped Candy Crush on the American App Store in it was in 2 days.
And that's the most popular mobile game ever launched. Ever in the history of everything.
And that's pretty insane because Candy Crush is like, it's not just that people download a lot of Candy Crush, but Candy Crush comes pre-installed on almost every Windows-based device of any kind.
It's weird because like there's more people playing it than people who actually have any sort of background with liking or watching Pokemon or playing the other Pokemon games. Like myself, I have no idea what I'm doing catching these Pokemons. Like, I just downloaded it because everyone else did, and I think that's kind of what Pokemon is all about. No, it's just like, hey, they're downloading Pokemons and catching them, and it looks kind of cool, so let's just do what everyone else does. And
see, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? Pokemon was a thing all through my childhood.
Yeah,
I watched the show when I could because you had to get up early on Sundays.
Yeah, you did, and I did every fucking Sunday.
Fucking hell! By the time I was watching Pokemon, I was old enough to want to sleep in on Sundays, and I was a paper boy on Sundays too. So I went out.
So you slept in on your paper route?
No, I went out. I think it started like 11 o'clock in the morning or something.
No idea.
Yeah.
11. You had to get up so early. You had to get up before 11.
So, but here's the thing. When I was a kid, we used to like have sleepovers. So I had like a couple of buddies over and we were playing video games all night long.
Mr. Big Shot with his friends.
Anyway, so I had a paper route. I had to get up at 7 and do my paper route, and then I would come home and go to sleep again. So I would miss Pokemon, but I got the VHSs. Right?
Oh wow!
And then we started with the trading cards.
Yeah.
We never battled them. We just swapped cards.
Yeah. And you did the thing where you flipped them.
No, that was Pogs. We did.
Not the same kind of thing.
No, but yeah, things like Pogs was my time. Pokemon was past my time. Because I'm old.
Pogs was my time too, and Go-Go's. But anyway, yeah, and then the first video game came out on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Pokemon Red and Blue. And I
remember,
still have my red cartridge. I think the battery backup is dead, so I cannot play it anymore. But
I still have my blue one, and it works.
Yeah, because I remember a classmate of mine was playing the Game Boy version, but he played on an emulator, so he played it on his PC. But he was the only person I knew actually played Pokemon, who we just made fun of him because he was like...
nerd?
Well, we mostly made fun of him because he was too old at that point.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I think I bought every Pokemon game. Maybe not the console ones, but the portable ones.
Console.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah,
Pokemon
Snap and
Pokemon.
Stadium. Yeah.
Because the thing is, Pokemon Go is my first Pokemon game. I haven't played any of them, so when I'm running around catching Pokemon, I have no idea whether is this a good Pokemon? What's its ability? I have no idea. And I don't know how to battle them or do anything.
I don't think you can battle them yet.
You can at gyms.
You can at gyms, and that whole thing kind of sucks.
Yeah, so gyms are located on...
PSA, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but PSA, I have not yet played Pokemon Go.
We've realized that at this point.
Pokemon service announcement.
Yeah, the Pokemon... No, the Poke gyms?
The Pokegems?
The Pokegems are located like Pokestops with like a pickup point at sort of landmarks.
There's one down the street.
Yeah.
Head on over.
I met a couple of friends in one of the city's towns. No.
What? One of the city's towns.
Yeah. One of the city's parks. And of course there's a Pokegym there, so I just tried to do a little battle. Lost, of course. Because everyone has 2 powerful Pokemons at this point.
Apparently it's buggy as shit too.
No, it has massive server issues because there's too many people playing it.
Yeah, but it's gotten a lot better after they removed it.
Definitely.
Totally controversial thing right now. They removed the whole tracking aspect of it with the 3 paw prints.
Yeah, to explain, once you launch the Pokemon GO app, you're presented with like a world map, so it's GPS based. When it launched, it has sort of a radar centered around your character, and then down in the bottom right corner, you can see which Pokemons are nearby, and the distance to them were indicated sort of like, does it have 1 footprint, 2 footprints, or 3 footprints?
Okay, yeah.
Measuring sort of how far they are
and the
away
thing
from
with
you.
that is that the app calls back home like every 5 seconds to update how close you are to the Pokemons, and that created massive server issues.
Pokemon is fun.
Save image.
But it really is.
I was just too old to be interested in the actual Pokemons. I watched Pokemon for Team Rocket and that redheaded lady.
Jessie. She was hot.
She was.
She was foxy.
I mean, Pokemon has like a rep for being like a children's show, but it's actually a pretty decent RPG. At least I don't know about Pokemon Go, but the mainline series, the Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, blah 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 blah.
That was my friend's the only one who played those games. That's what he said. It's like, no, but it's an RPG. I like RPGs, so that's why I'm playing it.
It is RPG with a team of 6.
Yeah,
that's what it is, and it's pretty good. It's got it's I wouldn't say it's deep. But it's pretty simple. I mean, use 5. You
catch the 150 Pokemons. Not very deep.
600 and something, isn't it?
Back in the Game Boy.
Now
back in the Game Boy days. Back in the Game Boy days.
Oh yeah. Back in the Game Boy days.
150.
Or 250 if you play the gold version.
Maybe. Yeah.
Now it's like 700, and they've kind of run out of ideas at this point, because most of the Pokemon that are in the latest iterations of the game are bullshit.
Are they sort of rehashing old ideas?
Yeah,
as well?
and they're not being creative anymore at all. Like the 3 new starter Pokemon, one of them is a kitten called Litten.
I mean,
and it looks like a regular cat with red cheeks. There's no, they're not even trying anymore. They're just printing money.
What's your favorite Pokemon then for anyone watching or listening who's a Pokemon
Mankey.
fan?
Arcanine.
Mankey.
Okay.
Or maybe Primate.
Yeah. So the only Pokemon I can remember from the show is Jigglypuff. So I'll just say Jigglypuff is my favorite. Because Jigglypuff is fucking awesome.
I play through Pokemon every now and then.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get through Y. I think it's Y, the latest one.
Why?
I have it on my 3DS. I keep restarting my save because I play for like maybe 5 hours, then I drop it, and then I get back to it, and it's like, what am I doing? I don't remember what I was last doing. So I restart my save, pick a different starter Pokemon. I'm like, yeah, this is so cool.
What's the difference between those Pokemon versions that came out and sent out, like Red, Blue, or Y?
It's always, I mean, you have like the full set of Pokemon. Let's take Red and Blue, for example. You have like 150 Pokemon, right? But they released
different Pokemons in different games.
I mean, so what I do remember distinctly is that the red one, in Pokemon Red, you could catch Growlithe, which is the one that turns into that Arcanine thing.
Yep.
But the blue version couldn't catch it. But at the same spot where you could catch Growlithe in the red one, you could catch Vulpix, which is a very similar Pokemon, but
it's a fox instead of
but
a
the
dog.
base games are the same.
The base games are the same. It's just they
there are
swap
some
up.
variations. In Blue, you could catch Caterpie is one of that turns into Metapod, and then Butterfree.
Caterpie, okay.
Caterpie. It's a caterpillar.
Okay.
It's Caterpillar.
Caterpillar.
That's like one of the first Pokemon that you encounter usually.
Wasn't it the other way around?
No. It's not.
It doesn't matter.
Believe me, it is not.
And in the red one, you can catch Weedle, right?
You can catch Weedle. That turns into Kakuna. That turns into Beedrill.
That's usually what happens, right? It's to force people to cooperate because it's always been a focus to trade Pokemon.
Could you actually trade them on the Game Boy?
Yeah. You had
with
like
a link cable.
And then you went to a Poke Center and into like a machine, and then you can
Pre-Wi-Fi, pre-infrared.
Yeah.
No, you could do it with infrared too. But
Could you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
My Game Boy Color has an infrared thing.
Yeah,
You had to have them made.
on the Game Boy Color, but not on the Game Boy Pocket, which was before the Game Boy Color, which is what I had. I had a green one. It was awesome.
Since Pokemon Go didn't do much for me, I noticed while looking for the app in the Play Store that there was a different game that was similar, which was Pocket Mortys.
Is it similar to Pokemon GO?
No.
No.
It is a classic Pokemon clone.
Seriously?
It's seriously.
Oh, holy fuck, I gotta play this game.
So to set the stage for this little beautiful app that I love so much more than I love Pokemon Go, is it Comedy Central? The Adult Swim?
No. Adult Swim isn't Adult Swim Cartoon Network?
Cartoon Network.
Rick and Morty is a show about a kid named Morty and his family, where his grandfather Rick is an insane scientist, and basically they go on adventures.
Yeah, Rick is obviously a parody on Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Morty is Marty McFly.
Yeah.
But aside from that, and their base mimicry and the base characters, the series are nothing like Back to the Future. It's more like a acid Doctor Who, in my opinion, where they go through time and space and go.
That's a pretty good description.
It's fucking insane.
The game's premise is, as many episodes of the show, starts with Rick and Morty in their garage, and Rick is working on something, and then a portal opens, and then another Rick comes out, trying to battle his Morty against this original Rick's Morty. And there's an exposition explaining that it seems like a lot of Mortys are getting separated from their Ricks. So that's where it starts off, battling Morty versus Morty, and then you travel around the multiverse trying to collect different varieties of Mortys and then train them and level them just like you do in Pokemon. And it is beautiful because you get so many sick and twisted Mortys. My favorite is Sausage Morty. It's just where Morty is just shaped like a sausage. You also have Hammerhead Morty. If you could guess what Hammerhead Morty looks like.
I'm guessing either the shark or an actual hammer.
Yeah, his head is the head of an actual tool hammer.
Yeah.
It's so good. That setting is so good because it's based on one episode from Rick and Morty. And I'm not going to go into too much detail to spoil.
Just remind me because I don't remember that episode.
In the episode, some Ricks from some other dimensions come into the original Rick's dimension, and they are trying to detain Rick for breaking some kind of multiverse law or something.
Yeah, you got the Council of Ricks.
Yeah, and
the Council of Ricks are definitely central to this story as well, because once you start battling I was about to say Pokemon, battling your Mortys against others, they take your portal gun away, or your portal
that
device,
thing, yes,
and they say that you can't get it back until you've proven that you're a responsible Morty trainer. So you have to collect enough badges to battle more and more council members, and then at the end you'll get your portal device back.
That's not necessarily part of the episode, but
it's more or less the same thing. But you also get other aliens from different dimensions and planets who've also started collecting Mortys. But you essentially have to battle other people who have started collecting Mortys, and then you have to catch wild Mortys or feral Mortys.
Completely insane.
Instead of elemental
resistances
and abilities and so on, it's all based on rock, paper, scissors. So if you have a rock type Morty, it is superior to a scissor Morty and so on. It is beautiful. I recommend it to anyone. My girlfriend started playing it.
I've been meaning to play that game, but I've been waiting for a new phone, so I've been holding off on it. But my phone got here today, so I'm going to pick it up tomorrow.
Which phone did you get?
The Samsung S7 Edge. It's brand spanking new, bro.
So edgy.
Yeah, I didn't go for the Edge because I just thought it was too big.
Yeah.
So I got the standard S7.
I like having a big phone.
Compensation.
It's an extension of his penis.
Yep.
Just with a huge display.
My penis has a huge display, all right.
No, it doesn't. That's why you need a big phone.
I can also display information on the edges of my penis.
Okay, fine.
And that information are STIs.
I would say it was TMIs, but anyway.
Whatever worked for you. So
before you went on holiday, we did another playthrough of Another World.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
That was pretty fun, and it was much faster than I expected. We finished it in one sitting, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Took us about 3 hours?
3 hours, something like that.
I think so, yeah.
The entire series is out. You can go check out the playlist.
No spoilers. I've only watched like 5 minutes of it.
It was actually.
Will you watch the rest of it?
I mean, it was. It was pretty fun.
No spoilers, then.
The playthrough was fun, but the first section, the one that was the same from the first Sunday brunch, that was pretty boring.
Of course, because we knew what we were expecting.
It's that and the fact that cave sequence. Where you have to go through the cave, jumping over the floor vaginas.
But mostly the rocks, because the rocks just lower the frame rate of the game so much.
And that part is really boring. But then we got later into a section much later in the game,
which is fantastic.
I'm just gonna say what the section is. I'm not gonna spoil, but the spaceship section.
Yeah, I was controlling at that point, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I don't know what actually happened on screen, because I was just pushing random buttons, watching like a tiny corner of the screen.
I mean,
that's a bold strategy.
It worked. That's the crazy thing. It worked.
The funniest part about that whole process is that it came out of left field. We didn't know what the hell was going on, and suddenly you're just thrust into that situation, and we're just.
Haven't you played the game before?
Yeah, I have played the game before, but you know how when you replay games and you play like the first 5 levels, and it's just okay. I remember this is a good game. I'm going to put it down now. And this is like on the tail end of the game, because you have that sequence and then like 2 more screens or something like that.
What do you think of the game, like, since you now have it in
the game,
in recent memory?
I think it's a good game. I think the pacing is great. You won't see any games like this anymore. Not for a long time, until it goes back into fashion, but
I still think
and
see
it's a game
games
that's
like
so
it.
good at telling a story without using a single word, and especially the ending part. I did almost spoil the ending for you, because I remember the ending, and I think that ending is so great. It's a bit cheesy, but it's so great. And,
I disagree.
Pizza.
It's dumb, but I feel like
I disagree, just because since I always put an emphasis on story. The story here is a bit of a cop-out. It is just a journey from point A to point B, and once you get to point B, it's sort of like, okay.
Yeah,
if that's how you want to end it, then
it is
fine.
I will agree that it's a bit anticlimactic. Anticlimactic.
No, climactic. Anticlimactic is if you're
I will agree that
to the climate.
I will agree. I will agree that the game is that word. But what I mean, of course, the story is a cop-out. It's a pretty cheap story. It is, but it's just
that's the thing. There is no story. There's a long cinematic setting up a grand story, but there's no story once you start playing the game.
Okay, then I'll rephrase my sentencing then and say that the story.
No, the thing is, like, the game creates an atmosphere, and the atmosphere is what the game is all about, and that's what I liked about the game as well.
But also the whole thing that I mean, when I say story, I mean like how Lester kind of waves to that guy that just shoots him, and how Buddy is just that entire thing like that. I mean, it's just chock full of emotions. It helps the immersion.
The thing is, like, you say that they don't make games in that fashion anymore. I would say, like, you can draw comparisons to Limbo. You can draw comparisons to the game studio who made Limbo, who just now released Inside. Which looks amazing if you've seen any videos of that.
Looking forward to playing
because it is non-verbal platform storytelling. It's a character who has to go through these ordeals to get to the end to reveal something.
Yeah, true. I'll concede to that.
So it is, but yeah, it is a very specific world which they've created, and which I appreciated a lot. You could say that if there is a story, it doesn't make much sense, but there's no sort of incoherence from like going from one room to the other or one scene to the other through the game. I think it's pretty good. Apart from that spaceship sequence, of course.
The spaceship sequence is just completely awesome.
So
So yeah,
Go watch it.
Go watch it, and if you can play it, it's on Steam. The anniversary edition is on Steam.
Yeah, 20th anniversary it is at this point.
Depending on when this podcast goes to air, you will
as soon as possible.
Yeah, as soon as
we're already late.
Already late. I'm very sorry. That's mostly my fault.
Anyway, you are playing Resident Evil 0.
Resident Evil 0 HD. It's not remaster. I've decided to go. I mean, we have you have a Resident Evil 0 HD, and then you have Resident Evil Remaster HD. Remake. And we will soon-ish, at some point in the future, have Resident Evil 2 remade as well. And I've decided that doing playthroughs on the Resident Evil series in chronological order like that would be fun. So
cool.
Started with
Are you going to do absolutely every game?
Only the mainline series, not the spin-offs.
All right, yeah,
not Umbrella Chronicles.
So all the numerical games.
I was thinking maybe also Revelations and Code Veronica X.
Cool.
So
that's your next 2 years then.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, but
that's like seven games.
The games are mostly formulaic, so you start getting used to it. But I mean, it's a series I love. The stories are dumb as shit. They're written by Capcom, so how could it not be? It's true. I don't know. It's if you ever kind of watched a movie that has like a horror plot, but it's completely retarded.
Like every horror movie ever.
Yeah, but it's.
Have you ever seen a good horror movie that
The Shining,
where the plot isn't? No,
Skeleton Key. My favorite horror movie.
Skeleton Key?
Yeah, Skeleton Key.
Anyway, yeah. So, but the thing is that the story is just if you can get through the cheesy voice acting and all that crap like that, and you start pulling on the threads and unraveling the mysteries. Games like this, they suck me right in. It's Resident Evil, it's Dead Space, all that shit. It's just I don't know what it is. I'm just really drawn to it, and the survival horror setting. Which is, in my opinion, the proper survival horror setting, not this Outlast Jack-in-the-Box bullshit, jump scare palooza shit that's going on nowadays. Is basically my favorite genre ever.
So what separates this survival setting?
It's more of an atmosphere thing rather than scaring you, because going boo out of a closet is easy. That's very easy. Just don't advertise that someone's going to go boo out of a closet and then you got people pissing their pants. And I think that's just streamer and YouTube bait. I don't think that's fun. Also, I don't like getting scared like that because it makes my heart jump. And I'm a fat guy and I got a high blood pressure.
But I remember I remember Resident Evil 1 doing the same thing.
You're expecting it because you're in a mansion. There's no power. Everything is dark. It's raining outside. You can see the lightning striking the ground. All that shit. And you're already at the edge of your seat. So you're already polishing your seat, right? Sitting there just waiting for something to happen. But a good survival horror game will keep you on that edge, but it will never pay it off. So you'll just sit there and it's tense and stressful, but it never pays it off. It's very hard to explain, but to me, scary is not the same as a monster jumping out of the monster closet thing. Atmosphere is what does it. And for me, the first 3 Resident Evils, and to a small sense, the 4th one does atmosphere perfect. So, but yeah. Anyway, back on point. Resident Evil 0.
I thought this was the point.
Whenever this goes to air, you're either going to be very disappointed I didn't put out a show episode on this Wednesday because I didn't have time to record it.
I'm usually disappointed with whatever you do, really.
I cherish your friendship. Yeah. So yeah.
I hear you, and I appreciate what you're saying.
I feel validated by that. So yeah, couples counseling. We haven't played together in so long, so we need to reinvent our friendships.
We basically haven't done anything for a month.
Anyways, beyond Resident Evil 0, I don't really have that much. I have been playing games though. I always travel with my DS, and for the DS, I played a game called Bravely Default.
Bravely Default?
Bravely Default. It's a crap title because it's a Japanese game.
It is brave to be normal.
It's a play on the main mechanics, but Bravely Default is a JRPG in a very, very classic sense of the word. So there's an overworld and there are towns. When you're in the overworld, you get random battles, and you have a job system, and the job gets ability points, but you also get experience points. Yeah, it's basically Final Fantasy V.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds extremely awesome.
No, it's if you like JRPGs,
I don't.
I know you don't, because it's not a military shooter. But yeah,
I play a lot of RPGs, but I'm not a fan of JRPGs.
I know it's a genre of not for everyone. But yeah, Bravely Default. The reason why the title is you have with JRPGs you can usually expect the same thing: XP, random battles, job system, blah blah. And there's always like one special mechanic. Final Fantasy VII has the limit break system, and in Bravely Default you have the Brave and Default system. If you, yes, I know,
because you have the default system, and if you want to be extra brave,
no. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
The brave button.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it is.
Then Mel Gibson comes out. And it says, "You'll never take over."
Engage turbo or whatever.
There is a brave button, by the way.
Okay,
of course there's.
When you press the brave button, you can spend future turns. So say since it's completely turn based.
Okay.
And when it's your turn, you can like press the brave button up to for 4 turns in 1 turn. But then you have to wait the residual.
You have to
turns.
wait 4 turns if you don't wipe the.
And yeah, exactly. So and likewise, if you press the default button, you go into defensive stance to take reduced damage, and you save up 1 turn. So you could default up to
you can save up a bank of turns.
Yeah, you can bank up to 3 extra turns, and then you can spend them all in 1 turn, and still the next turn will be your turn again. Speaking
do you build like a party of different characters and stuff?
Yeah, you don't have characters coming and going. In this game, you have a set party of 4 people.
Okay.
And I usually never play JRPGs with the Japanese voice acting with English subtitles, which I know a lot of people do. I just don't. And the voice acting is, as expected, completely fucking horrible. So yeah. But if you like JRPGs, especially if you like JRPGs of the 90s, like Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, all that stuff, I definitely recommend Bravely Default. But it's the kind of game that you play through the early and mid game, and then you usually stop right at the beginning of the end game. It's just the kind of game. At least that's how when I play JRPGs. I need to force myself to actually complete it. But I like the path up to that point. So it's good for something.
Cool. Aside from Pocket Mortys, I've been playing more the mobile games. Amongst others, I played a game called Knights of Pen and Paper, which is
pen and paper RPG.
Well, with modifications, it is a turn-based RPG. It's all like 8 or 16-bit graphics or whatever. But it's just presented like your characters are sitting in separate chairs in front of a table, and there's a DM on the other side. But once it starts telling the story, the background shifts, and then you got like battles in the background going on against monsters and so on. So I've created our D&D group, included myself this time because I'm usually the DM. So I have you as the warrior because the barbarian wasn't unlocked yet, and you got the cleric, you got the paladin, you got.
I am a warrior. No, I'm a fighter, but I'm not a barbarian.
Oh, that's right. I just get confused because you're playing in a half orc.
Yeah.
So I would just naturally think barbarian.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. Anyway, our little party of 5. I'm playing a rogue, by the way, with my
surprise,
my little avatar. But anyway, it's kind of cool because the story at certain points goes a bit meta. They meet some sort of super buff enemy that they don't really know yet, and then he launches an attack that is so powerful the players around the table, they feel the damage. They actually get hurt.
They break the 5th wall.
Yeah, pretty much. It is a Dungeons and Dragons based game, but it is surprisingly engaging and pretty fun when I get bored of catching Mortys. What else have you been playing on your DS?
Nothing on the DS. I was gonna play Pokemon, but then I kind of got hooked on Bravely Default, so I kind of gave up. I picked up because my computer is now disassembled, sort of, so I can't use it for now. Also, my PlayStation 4 is kind of hidden away in the mess that is my apartment right now.
Under your disassembled computer somewhere.
Basically. So the only consoles I have available to play with right now, at least for the foreseeable future, is my Xbox One and my Nintendo Wii U. Mm-hmm. And the Wii U doesn't have any games that I like to play for long sittings. It's mostly just an hour here, an hour there to play some retro games or whatever.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad to sit and play Mario Party alone, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is.
And platformers ain't my thing anymore. So new Super Mario 3D World and Super U Luigi something. I don't want to play those games. Mm-hmm. So what I end up playing is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because it was released. Right. It was released for the Xbox Live Arcade, and on the PlayStation it was released as a PS1 classic. But as you know, PlayStation fucks the previous generation, so all the PS1 classics I bought on the store for my PS3, I cannot use for my PS4. Because PS4 doesn't have a PS1.
Thanks, Obama.
So yeah, that's success. So I've been playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night, a game I have played so many times now.
You mentioned Symphony of the Night when you talked about Salt and Sanctuary. How does it compare game-wise?
Salt and Sanctuary was built from the same cloth. You level up, you got equipment, got some spells that are useless, and some relics. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
I actually ended up playing Salt and Sanctuary after you made your Let's Play.
You did, and it was fun, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Yeah, you should play Symphony of the Night too.
Those spells were not bad.
No,
I played a mage, and I do not regret my decision to do that. Those spells were fucking awesome.
That game is good, and I've actually considered trying to learn the speedrunning techniques for Salt and Sanctuary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm gonna do a video on it at some point. Actually, I'm going to do a full playthrough because...
Once you're done with all your 2000 Resident Evil games.
I can have 2 series running at once.
Of course you can. Anything you're looking forward to?
Getting back into doing YouTube stuff again, maybe. I'm actually missing it a lot.
I don't know, I kind of want to start playing Overwatch again. Because with the Olympics in a couple of days, they released some new game modes, which is basically... Rocket League, but you play as the Overwatch characters and you have to shoot the ball into the goal and stuff like that. But looks fun enough.
Yeah.
They also released a competitive play and a new hero since I last played. So I want to try that. But other than that, what's the diving game from the guys that made Journey?
I don't remember.
Abzu.
I've kind of been looking forward to playing Subnautica as well, which is not relaxing.
No, that's more like a Minecraft underwater.
Can't wait for the game industry to get over the whole crafting survival thing, though.
Yes, please.
You know what? I'm gonna throw like a little torch out there. What's wrong with a linear story-driven game with set pieces?
They're mostly driven by AAA game companies, so the small actors, they feel like it's such a big effort trying to do that. So I'm guessing that they would rather capitalize on the niche market.
See, that's a problem, because I liked Gears of War. Gears of War was a linear cover shooter, but it had a story, and you were interrupted with cinematics where we were talking about things. I know people generally have fallen a bit out of it, because that's the thing with AAA. They tend to overdo like one thing. Mm-hmm. But this time around, it's the indie market that's overdoing the survival thing. And I don't think all games need to be sandbox.
No, of course
not. And I've been outspoken about this on this podcast before, and I don't like games like GTA or.
But I think the problem nowadays is that people feel that if a game costs $60, they have to be able to play it for at least 60 hours.
Right. Well, I feel like
that's part of the problem, because if the game can be 6 hours long and you can still pay $60 for it, and if it's 6 fantastic hours of gameplay and emotions,
I get your point.
Awesome set pieces, then that should still be worth it, right? I mean,
I prefer games that I can just pick up and I can play them over a weekend and I can put it down again and say I completed this game. I kind of missed that part because I'm speaking a little bit in terms of a. I hate saying this, but I have to because it's the best way to explain it. But as a YouTuber, because I really want to play a game like Witcher 3, and it would be awesome to do like videos on it. But it's too long.
Yeah,
it's too long, and I think the big problem is that people. Like Christian says, they're just stuffing it full of things to do, and in many games the main story suffers for it. I mean, Witcher 3 is obviously an outlier because Witcher 3 is fucking perfect. But say like Watch Dogs, Watch Dogs fell for the same thing among many other problems. I mean,
I do agree on principle. But I kind of feel the same way as well. Once the price is so high, you kind of want it to last for a while, if it is that good. Because but again, it is an emphasis on quality.
Yeah, but it's not
the length. The length has to correlate to the quality that you're experiencing.
It absolutely has to.
Games used to be more expensive and very much more shorter.
That was going to be the next thing I was going to say. I'm so glad that those high-priced AAA games have dropped their sort of threshold in terms of price. They used to be like, at least in Norway, like 700 kroner.
700 kroner, and in the cartridge day,
80 pounds, pretty much.
$80.
$80.
So but
adjust for inflation.
Yeah,
but it's even more expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
But games haven't adjusted for inflation; they've actually gone down in price.
Exactly.
They've held the same price point, but they've gotten cheaper because we have more money. Yeah,
exactly.
I would rather instead of this DLC microtransaction. I mean, DLCs and microtransactions. I don't think they're bad things.
What do you think about episode-based games?
They are good if the developers actually complete the series.
Yeah.
But time and time again, the only company that I know that has actually done an episodic series and done it well is, of all people, Capcom with Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Okay.
They released on point every single week, and they did it because they completed the game. And the price point was $20 per episode, so the total price was higher than that of a normal game, but each episode is about maybe 2, maybe 3 hours.
Right.
And they're good. And they're good for $20, and the total price amounts to something like either $80 or $120, and it's absolutely worth it. I think like Valve that they spent so much time from episode 1 to episode 2, Half-Life 2, that is.
I would say that's a different thing. Those are expansions on the same...
Yeah, but it's still episodes.
No, but I'm talking about games that are designed to be episodic. That you release the first episode either for free, as sort of a demo, or a lower price, and then the higher price for the
kind of like 90s shooters then.
So like Life is Strange, or Telltale Games' Back to the Future series, or anything like that. They're Game of Thrones games, also sort of episode-based.
All of Telltale's games...
At this point,
but the last 6 years have been episodic.
Yeah, apart from Walking Dead and...
Walking Dead is episodic.
Walking Dead is also episodic.
Wolf Among Us is episodic.
Don't remember.
No, but
Tales from the Borderlands, episodic. The new Minecraft game is episodic.
No, but here's the thing. My point is that when I see sort of in the Steam store that by episode 1, I sort of like...
if it's something that I want to play, I'm gonna wait until all the episodes are released.
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna buy them all in a bundle, and I'm gonna play through the whole thing in one sitting.
That's exactly my thing as well. So I just want one game. If it looks like a cool game, I'll buy the game. I will say that I'm glad Life is Strange was episodic because, again, I hated that game. So I played like 40 minutes of the first episode and then I got a fucking refund because Steam offers refunds. But I think also that if I had bought the whole thing as a single game, I would have given it a better chance as well. So maybe if I got deeper into the game, I would like it or so on.
But they're turning that into a TV series now, actually.
Yeah, that
could probably work.
That was very...
It was just like I didn't like any of the characters or any of the choices that were...
TV series
in terms of
you...
commercial success, that game was
very
successful, wasn't it?
People still like it.
Yeah. I mean, there are several ways to make a game profitable, but I just want to see the return of some... just a game. Kind of like, I wish they made more games like the Order 1886. I mean, don't get me wrong, Order 1886 is a shit pile. with a lot of dumb decisions made into it, and it's.
Is that the werewolf thing?
Yeah, but it's not a werewolf thing. You just fight like 4 werewolves, and then everything else is just killing dudes. And I tried my very hardest to like it, and but I did get suckered in by the story. I actually wanted to know more about the story. Then gameplay happened, and then I wanted to cut my arms off. But I want more games like that.
Yeah,
just a single experience. Happy with sequels, and they could sell like a DLC pack that opens the multiplayer or something if you want that.
Yeah, I mean, the DLCs I enjoy are the ones that sort of give you an additional story or something like that. Like with The Last of Us, you get the sort of the prequel story. In Dragon Age,
Dragon Age had great DLC.
Yeah, you get sort of. You get maybe the backstory of one of the characters that you've interacted with.
And in that one Bethesda game that they've reskinned and remade several times now, you always get good DLCs. So yeah.
Witcher 3, great DLC.
Yeah, very good DLCs.
Still not going to play Witcher.
It's a difficult thing because it's hard to justify buying like a... I mean, you wouldn't go and buy like a top-notch DVD for like several $100s because it's a good movie.
I have.
So,
not several $100. I paid for a Criterion Collection edition of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas at one point because I couldn't find it in any other web store. Yeah. So I had to import it from the US, and then it wouldn't play in my DVD player.
I mean, my point was just I think it's a problem with the medium as a whole. You will never be able to justify more than $60 because that's what the price point has been forever. So if I wouldn't mind. I work, I make money, I'm an adult.
Yeah, I would rather have the option of buying more games than buying the one game you can do that.
I can agree, but I would also rather pay $100 and not get all that shit, and rather just get a good game. If the game is $100 and 8 hours of goodness, like Doom.
If the game was $100, I wouldn't even try. No. That's my conclusion.
That's also a point. Can we get demos back? At some point,
we do have demos actually.
The demos are actually still a thing.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not the general practice anymore.
No, now you have.
It used to be.
Now
it is on
console early access.
Yeah.
Instead, and betas, open betas,
and Steam refunds.
And Steam refunds.
I guess I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that I won't be getting demos back in.
This episode is brought to you by Snail Mail. Don't you wish that you could ever sort of send an email physically? You can actually with Snail Mail. Maybe 4 days.
But how does the postman know where to deliver the letter?
Aha! You write the analog email address on this envelope, which is a piece of paper, and then you glue it shut so that no one else can read it. That's encryption.
Can I involve my tongue in this somehow?
You probably could, but I wouldn't recommend it. You might get paper cuts.
You also might get AIDS.
Yeah, so if you want your message to arrive later than it should, I would recommend Snail Mail. This podcast is available on iTunes.
I'm extremely confused.
I have no idea what's going on.
It is also available on lowbrowgaming.com/podcasts. So for those of you listening, we are also available on youtube.com/lowbrowgaming. That's our Let's Play channel. That's where we hang out the rest of the month.
You know what we should get? We should get lowbrowgaming.com/YouTube just so we can just complete that circle.
But that wouldn't make it a circle, would it?
No, it will make it a line connecting at the end.
With 2 ends, one saying YouTube and one saying put. Anyway,
it's kinda.
Should we wave to the camera now?
You can wave as much as you want. I'm not done talking. If you're listening to this podcast and want to recommend it to others, I recommend that you leave us a review on iTunes because that helps people find the podcast. And if you're on YouTube, hey, leave a comment, like, subscribe, do all that business. We will see you guys next month, unless you're also watching Let's Play, so in which case we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.